We are back for Coffee Convo Radio. It's been a long time. Welcome back. This program is going to be called The Takeover Begins. Are you ready? We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Visual Disturbance. I'm your host. We are back once again. Folks, you know how long it's been since we've done a Coffee Convo radio show on the Visual Disturbance. There might be some newcomers here, some new subscribers that don't even know what a Coffee Convo radio show is all about, but we're bringing it back one more time, and I hope everybody's enjoying their day. Relax, sit back. It's just going to be me off the cuff, speaking from my heart, talking about controversial topics and just have a good time and not get too serious, especially with the things that are going on in the world right now. But I am going to have some serious notes during this program. But welcome everybody to the Coffee Convo radio show. It's been a long time. It's been about a year and a half ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But today, if you wasn't here for just the intro just a few moments ago, we're going to have the Takeover Begins. Are you ready? So when you think about the reality in our paradigm, it seems like AI is on a mission. I don't know. Maybe I had to pause there for a minute. On a mission for some nutrition, possibly. No, I'm just kidding around. Probably not. Probably a totally different narrative. I think we're in some serious, interesting times here. But like we have talked about in Coffee Combos before, it's a chilling, relaxing program where we just cut back and Visual Disturbance can be himself. You know, I do a lot of what-ifs programs on here, but a Coffee Convo is one of a kind. And a lot of people don't like these. I've heard people say they don't like them, but I'm bringing them back anyways because I love them so much, and I love that we get to experience drinking a coffee together. Let me show you my coffee cup, anybody. It's a big blue coffee cup. If you can see it on the screen here, it's about 32 ouncer. 32 ouncer. I haven't done this in a long time. I take these Coffee Convos seriously. So I bring the big gun coffee cup, so to speak. Big blue. It'll watch out and dodging those lasers with my, coffee cup. I'll use it as a shield. It's a Yeti cup, right? And be bouncing them lasers off, up off from the sky, with my blue Yeti cup. A little humor there. But we're going to get into it today. We're going to be talking about some insanity coming out in the world today and tomorrow. In the last 30 days, the last 2 months, it's been a long time since I've done a program here, a live feed on Visual Disturbance, because I've had a lot of tech issues, believe it or not. Can't make this stuff up. It's been one of those seasons when it seems like everything I have electronically is going to let's just say, back to its original state. Back to the dirt. So it's been pretty insane and pretty wild, but welcome all newcomers. Welcome to the program. Coffee Convo. Let's just jump on into it. I got a lot of interesting conversations to speak about, and you all just engage. I'm going to engage in the chat here after a while, but we're going to talk about something here that's in the news, especially today. Supposedly today. Have you ever heard this? You're going to hear me say encrypted language. I'm going to be like E something, and I always watch what I say here to protect the channel. Check this out. Does anybody know who this is on the screen here? This is SpongeBob SquarePants. So SpongeBob SquarePants, a couple years ago, I did a program. We're going to be talking about the E-files. The E-files, right? They're supposed to drop today. I don't know if they dropped or they phase one of a big boat. Like the binder was like gigantic, right? So I guess that's just all phase one of E-files initiation. Well, SpongeBob here, it's a cartoon, I think 98, 99, when it was first released to the young folks. And Well, I remember this very specifically, and I always thought that when it said Bikini Bottom, I was like, man, I never took the attention that it deserved. But in the very first episode, I'm pretty sure, and he's trying to get a license. Well, it's kind of ironic. I don't know if he can do it anymore or not. It's been a long time since I've done it. But I remember his address. You could drop that address into, let's just say, Google Earth or Google Engines, and it would bring you back to the E Island. The E Island. All the insanity, horrific things that went on the E Island. And I thought it was ironic that, SpongeBob, Mr. Squidward, SpongeBob, trying to get the license. It's always SpongeBob and Patrick. There's a lot of, let's just say, I'm not propping this up, okay? I'm not a big fan. When I was younger, yes, but I'm not a fan, okay? So, just saying, for other nefarious reasons that have been predictive programming and probably a lot of other collaborating in the, let's just say, putting out neural pathways with planting the wrong seed. If anybody gets that on understanding of a biblical stance. But yeah, so you have SpongeBob. Could you imagine could you imagine that? SpongeBob. Here, SpongeBob. SpongeBob, don't do that, SpongeBob. Well, they was doing wrong. And the E-Files has some kind of sick, twisted, demented quantum field, quantum whatever vortex you want to call it, and somehow mixing up into the SpongeBob narrative back in those 99, 98. I guess, according to the people in the know, there was a singularity, and the singularity started in 1995. I kid you not, folks. The singularity started back in 1995, what they hear, but we're going to be talking about here after a while. There's some folks out there that's talking about the singularities getting ready to pop off in our reality. But here in Visual Disturbance, I tackle a lot of controversial topics and like to dive deep and to have a critical thinking conversation. Gear thought-provoking with my Kentucky slang. A lot of people make fun of it. They think it's like Boomhauer on steroids. And people that really know me personally, they're like, hey, Brian, don't ever change, dude, because you're like the same always, And I try to be upbeat because this world is coming apart at the seams, right? So you can't make this stuff up. I'm only going to talk about it just for a few more moments here. The E-Files is supposed to release today. They're supposed to be groundbreaking, shocking, pretty sick, demented things. Yes, all the above, but there's been like soft disclosure, I guess, right? I'm just kidding. But the E-Files supposedly made it to somewhere, and there's some type of battlefield going on, battlefield of notorious people, the Knights of the Templar. Good night, man. So there's my little encrypted language without overstepping. But yeah, fun fact that SpongeBob's address would directly, a couple years ago when I checked it, they would directly take you to the E Island. E Island! Under the sea. Atlantis connection from SpongeBob and the fallen angel, gray-headed man. That's supposedly not to... He's still alive! Folks, I kid you not, about 6-7 years ago, when I would go out, that's before I got hurt, and I was on my route, doing my milk route, and even places I go to gather, they'd be like, E is not dead, all this stuff, and it's like, oh, good night, man. Could you give me a break? And it was like you go into a delivery store, and, you're like, hey, milkman's here. That's what you hear behind the clerk. The milkman's here. Time to check him in. It's like 98 degrees outside. And it's like they'll make you wait 40 minutes. Sir, I'm sorry that your milk has to be maintained at 34 degrees. Condensation on the ground, soaking. Trip hazard. Put your signs up. Milkman, get a mop. So anyways, he didn't. And I'd go to play. It's like out in the restaurants, people be like, he didn't. He's still alive. But it was real apparent in Kentucky that they get really sensitive. When they see that black mirror, you tell them what to do. And all these evil, let's just say magic ways, they wave their hand, and they're like, yes, I should repeat myself what I see on the TV. And it's mind-boggling to say the least, folks. And forgive me for kind of punching below the belt there, but we all have been caught into believing certain systems that are falling apart at the same. They're literally coming and cracking off as we take. There's like an earthquake shaking going on in our reality. And folks, I know you can resonate with what I'm saying. A lot of people are like, Brian, you probably you're just not too serious on this coffee combo. I was expecting something coffee combo radio show serious. Well, I have just learned to relax because I've got so much going on. It would make your head spin, explode, and you would be like going around all day long. SpongeBob, you would like the paradigm shift if in your brain, if you had to just deal with some of the stuff that comes around in my realm of walk. It would just, yeah. So, but getting back to the E-Files, I had people that I supposedly known for 20, 30 years. They get so adamant about this, right? But they would never understand, hey, get a coffee combo here. Brian, what do you think? But I'm talking about back in the day. Well, there's all kinds of three-letter agencies that do all kinds of different things. There's all kinds of stage events. There's all kinds of let's just say, black ops, set them down, open up shop programs that are doing stuff on a level that will make the mind be defragmented so bad you'd be wanting to jump into the movie Tron and play video games with Flynn. That's where we're at. Insane in the membrane. Welcome everybody to the Visual Disturbance. I'm just kind of hanging out. We're going to get into it, but it's time to take take a sip of coffee. Coffee. I said copy. Coffee. Did you know that my original coffee convo, if I'm not mistaken, I kid you guys not. One day my wife, I was doing a coffee combo. I don't even think she knew I was in here doing a coffee combo in the studio. And all of a sudden, some homemade cupcakes start pouring in. And I'm live, and I'm just like over here reaching over and grabbing cupcakes, okay? So that was an event. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the first or the second I'd ever done. Coffee combo with a coffee and a cupcake. You can't make this stuff up. Good times. I'm not insinuating that I want a cupcake right now. But I'm trying to watch my sugar. Seriously, no joke. Just anything. Let's just say I'm on a different diet, so to speak. Moving on. So, does anybody remember this event back in December? You gotta love those drones there. There was animation drones. Does anybody remember the New Jersey and all the drones and everything? Well, did you guys know that it hasn't stopped. Like, there's people from China, all kinds of news anchors over there speaking about, why don't the West speak about this, that this is not drones or any kind of other things. This is the alien spaceships. There's the motherships upon motherships above our skies, right? Meanwhile, a month or so ago, it was in the news. I couldn't believe it made mainstream, to be honest with you. If you go back 5 years ago, they was telling everybody to duck under the tables and dodge all the invisible, let's just say, make-believe pixie dust running in the sky and everywhere else. And you couldn't go outside because, well, there was just things that just was keeping you back, held you back. So, when I see stuff like this, it's kind of the same thing. We talk about there's a P word, psyop, right? And when you talk about those, let's just say there's a lot of people think they're fake. Well, majority, if you hear about it, if you see it, if you think about it, if it's something, goes down through let's just say down the riverbed and up into the sewer pipes, and there's some kind of original thought to it, I promise you, it's about 95% probably legit what you're seeing when it comes to that. It's kind of strange. And then the 5% is what you got to worry about, because that's what they'll, let's just say, divulge into, put out the news, so to speak. So anyways, those folks in New Jersey, my heart still goes out to them because a lot of people traumatized. Remember that one video I did on here, and I think a lot of people was debunking it and saying it was fake, but I put it up here anyways on the Visual Disturbance because I thought it was interesting. People was like, pop, pop, pop. you know, and you're like, what are you shooting at, boys? You know, and they just getting wild over in New Jersey, right? And it's just interesting that I had to really think about that, man. I was like, man, this got to be Kentucky, man. Like Hatfield, you know, McCoy people, or, you know, down the backwoods, you know. We got to watch them folks in the bluegrass, right? Pop, pop, you know. What's that? Is that an orb? Daddy, is that a plane? No, no, that's a UFO. That's a secret space program. Well, Daddy, it just morphed into something else. Yeah, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And the whole UFO connection, everything with that, and a lot of people are just kind of shrugging that underneath the rug. There's been these congressional hearings, and you all have heard me many, many times here on the Visual Disturbance channel where it will drive me just absolutely insane when I talk about topics to do with shamans and Indian mounds and Nephilim. Well, the shamans of old was doing this, and I've even got some documentation that I haven't got prepared for this video, this broadcast, but I will tell you, shamans used to claim that they could control Halley's Comet with their mind. They would say that it would get so close to the earth, it was getting ready to blast their TPs off into oblivion, and all of a sudden the shaman would rise up and say, oh, whatever he does, and goes through the, you know, great whatever, and uses psionic abilities that you hear in the UFO phenomenon right now, which I'm not trying to discredit these people, but it just seems kind of strange when you look at these, let's just say the stuff that happened in the 1900s, NASA, you know, all these different things, these applications to do with paranormal activity, angels, demons, all the above. It's just interesting, these drones, and this whole concept is getting a little frosty. And I don't know where it's going to go. I really don't know where it's going to be headed, because to me it's very telling on where we're at. Very telling. It's so shamans, men claiming to be whistleblowers, are saying, hey, start communicating with the orbs, communicate with the ships, biometrics. We can do it all now. You can quantify your blood, and you know, it's called I think it's a quantum lock, if I'm not mistaken. You can drop a blood in it, and it'll make you a ship, and voila, you got you a Chevrolet 1967, fast forward 2045, 2080, V24 motor. And she's popping off on all cylinders, right? You got you a Vimana, you got you the craft that never rust, and they get that old Chevrolet, crank it off into oblivion. You take you even to the deep seas of the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, while you're at it. So this next slide here, speaking of UFOs and all this deranged, I don't even know anymore. It's so bizarro world. So this is kind of be a what-if moment. You know, if you have followed me on Visual Disturbance, I talk about a lot of different things in these little segments I uploaded, all right? So I'll do what if. So you have petroglyphs, hieroglyphics. There's all kinds of different glyphs everywhere that has these men-like creatures, mantis-like creatures, you know, let's just say deers, goats, elk. And then they'll have giants that has 6 fingers, 6 toes, blah, 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 lizard-like men, portal-like. You know, as a screen here, let me take my mouse. You see the portal. People would say, well, that looks like a shield. Well, it possibly is, probably. Or it could be a portal. It could be a Stargate. Speaking of quantum bloodlock, Project 500 billion. That's almost say. So you have these two portals, right? You got I don't know, it looks like a lizard-like, and you got a ant-like mantis man. And my thing where I come up with this is I've been thinking about interdimensional. I gotta make sure I don't get the video labeled. You feel me? I got to watch what I say. It's going to be muffled. But all these different things when it comes to spiritual applications, you get the veil, right? You look at the biblical narrative. You research the scriptures to understand, and you can go like to other civilizations, not even nothing to do with the biblical narrative, and they speak about these things and alike, but the Bible will say stay clear of them. Well, in some of these other texts, they'll say jump to them and drop a little blood, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you get your little biological, let's just say UFO that's in your so-called genome. I guess the way they want to claim it's tied to your DNA, right? So I have this thing that I've been contemplating. You know, a lot of people, I think it's called the electromagnetic universe, the concept and the reality of it is based off literally just interpretations of people, a human role of what they have perceived, like, you know, when they think about well, I hate to use the E word again, but this one's going to be evolution, which I don't even, subscribe to. of the universe. So you have this mainstream, science, electromagnetism, and all these different fundamental forces. These fundamental forces of gravity and nuclear force and weak nuclear force and phenomenal of light, electricity, magnetism, all these different things, right? That somehow bring up the Big Bang, which I can't get behind, or the modern cosmological, Big Bang, boom, boom. It just shows up out of nowhere and we don't even know where we come from. I have to say that might be a big piece of baloney, which I don't even eat bologna anymore. We don't even get into that. We're not going to go there. So, galaxies, clusters, all the above when you talk about the electrical universe hypothesis, and it gets a little, gray area. You don't want to really get too much stock in it. But speaking of plasmonoids, right? Plasmonoids, people have been talking about this in the Internet of Things, and they're like, UFOs, aliens, reptilians, the whole ball of wax, the Manakuabu, the aliens, the Greys, the Blue Jays. I mean, right? So it's interesting when you think about the electrical magnetic universe, and you talk about this whole magnetic fields, which I have read, but used a device to see that the weight of what certain things are. Solar activity, all these geological processes on the Earth, blah, blah, blah. So here's what I thought. I thought that, you can see the way the tech is going. Remember I have talked about here on Visual Disturbance, here soon you want to be able to do the veil. Like you'll be able to see something. There'll be holographic technology, which I already think there is, or there'll be this technological leap that will show you that you'll be able to communicate with these creatures and vibrate or whatever it is, like be on a vibrational rate. Have you ever read the document with the flying roll on the three-letter agency? Excuse me. The three-letter agency, when you talk about that, you look at that and it says vibrating, that's what it says, vibrational rate on that video, on that three-letter agency file, the video I've done in the past. So, you got light spectrum, all these elements, this nuclear force, electrical magnet, universe, right? Magnetism, all this stuff, right? Well, it's interesting to me when you look at these Native American carvings and these petroglyphs, and you're like, hey, could it be, are they rendering what they're seeing, right? Is it a visual disturbance, literally? Or is it something they're seeing in real life and they're like adapting to it? Or maybe even coming to the convenience of comfortable and say, hey, these are the stars or the gods, the star people, the gods of old, or it's a perception that you perceive them as being like, let's just say, almighty, so to speak. And I think that's interesting when you think about this electromagnetic world. So what is it, right? Is it ability for, the powers of the air to manage the airwaves, which would in tune maybe alter the state, literally, of a molecular structure? I have talked about this on petrified videos I've done, different things. I've had these just speculation on my end, and you think about it, you're like, hey, how does a star fort work? How does a star fort get made? How does an old cathedral get built that looks like it's just been forged from either a 3D printer or pulled from sound waves, and it pulls to the magnetic sphere, right? It's the cosmos pulling on them, right? So, there's all these theories. There's all this speculation. But when I think about these petroglyphs and I think about it, could it be that they're like manifesting inside of, literally into our realm? And they can come and go as they please, and it's, what's going to open that up is what you ask. You're like, well, Brian, what's your point? How are they going to pull this off? How's mankind going to be able to connect and have a pure connection? When you have fiber optic cable and you have all these, remember old Bell South telecommunications, when you talk about the, a lot of landlines, that's all gone. That's all thrown out now, it seems. They're getting rid of them. In Kentucky, you can still find one. I think in Kentucky, you can still find 2 payphones in the state. I can't remember where they're at right now. I remember where one specifically was. So, anyways, all these technologies are advancing at a high rate, okay? The other day, Mr. Musk quoted and made a comment about the singularity is amongst us. We're almost there. Hang on to your ship. Hang on to the ship. Captain, we're coming in. We're going to go to Mars. Insane, right? And there's all kinds of different explanations, or we can come up with a different spin if you really wanted to talk about that on another time. But anyways, speaking of, the Majorana Say that 10 times, say it 15 times. I think it's how you say it. I'm pretty sure it's how you pronounce it. Majorana. The Majorana, that's the wrong slide. The Majorana. So this is a quantum field. This is a quantum computer by Microsoft. They just had it pop off not too long ago. It was like a few days back. If I'm not mistaken, they unveiled it on the 19th of February, which is less than 10 days ago. So when you think about this chip and you think about this leap, right? So this Majorana chip, I had the first thing when I heard about it, folks, is when they started talking about we've broke the physics. We've been able to surpass when it talks about gases and different things with the the table of contents when we used to do science and all this. We've broke past that. It's over. We have come to the singularity, right, or whatever. We've come to this quantum entanglement field, and now this chip, literally, I've seen demonstrations where it's like the same shape of the palm, a little bit far bigger than my palm of my hand when you fit in your hand. So when you think about the quantum field, the quantum computing, and what this thing can do, I've heard different people speak and speculate. You throw a little AI in the mix. You throw a little bit of that, and they come together. The quantum field, all this good stuff, quantum computers, and they talk about topological qubits. That is what it uses. And you use quasar particles called the fermions. I think that's how you pronounce it. These particles theorized by physics. There was a physicist back in the day, 1937, and he owned these antiparticles and existed in the topological state in the kind of matter that are restrained to external disturbances. Speaking of visual disturbance. Unlike traditional qubits, he's talking about these other quantum computers. IBM has one, Google has one, etc., in which they're fragile and they make errors, right? They go down and they just start failing and everything. There has to be a certain temperature. But when we think about what Microsoft has done here, there's achievement. Okay, you take this chip and put it in your hand. Okay, so it's smaller than it's the smallest. I think it's one of the smallest quantum computers ever. It's faster, it's practical, blah blah. The chip. So, but the thing is, what they're claiming is, I've heard different things. This is all speculation for the record here on YouTube. A lot of speculation. There's people saying once these two merge together, AI and this quantum chip, that they'll be able to manifest things and communicate to the other side. What? D-Wave computers, you got to watch out for the little, the D-Wave, excuse me. But anyways, so when they was doing these tests and everything, it was a phenomenal event. They surpassed everything, all these different compounds, gases, etc. And they found this new particle. But supposedly this physicist found it in 1937. I thought it was interesting. It's almost 100 years ago. It was seriously coming up on us. It's pretty quick. And when you think about it, it's not, it's close to 100. So when you think about it and you think about what they've been able to achieve, so I thought about it, just like the slide earlier, when you think about these guys and then you see something like this, wonder if they're able to use this particle that they have said that they've been able to, let's just say, extract from the air. And they could contain it, and now it can be controlled. So what if they can control it to where it's literally bringing in, let's just say quantified communications with other quantum computers, not to only say that, but old computers, supercomputers, all these other applications, heck, the ones that was in the buildings back in the day, back in the warehouse side of things, like in the 60s and 70s. So it makes you wonder what is going to have to happen. I've heard a lot of different things. People are saying that once these two things merge, they'll be able to speak. Like these machines would get to a point where they'd be able to pull the atoms from the air and manifest supplies just like at the call. It's just a flick of a switch, right? Command prompts, right? I've heard some wild stuff about this. So spiritual phenomenon, whatever you want to call it, Stargate, access key, boom, whatever. I'm not going to say anything else. But when you think about it, this could be something that will be used for, let's just say, enter, the stars kind of thing, like the entering into the cosmological stance. Because, I don't know if, seen a podcast the other day, I got to watch what I say. Seen a podcast the other day, said that they asked Grok. Grok was the Twitter, with Elon Musk. And he said, hey, I'm your cosmological buddy, right? I come from above. And basically talking about different applications when it comes to quantum computing. And the AI was getting so so fast, so superior, so beyond its intelligent level. If I'm not mistaken, I think it said every 12 hours that goes by, like literally our time. So we're sitting here on the show here, and it's been 30 minutes. So every 12 hours, this AI was learning 100 plus years ahead of time, according to the, let's just say, the mindset of humanity, so to speak. Like, it was over surpassing us to that level. I think it's bizarre and interesting. It's interesting, but yeah, let me just say this. Could there be a what if moment here on the, let's just say, Coffee Convo Radio? Yes, there could be. What if this little bugger right here, what if it's the fallen angel technology coming down and saying, we're going to do a little dance, literally, and we're going to be manifesting like we, back in the backwoods, back in the back of the day, right? We're coming back through technological advancements. So then you ask yourself, well, how did they do it back then? That's a good question. And there's a show that me and Brother David did a broadcast on Sunday Night Live. Get an opportunity to go check out FOJC. I'm pretty sure I got the link in the description. I went through my description the other day and accidentally deleted some things, so hopefully I didn't delete it. But FOJC, go check it out. Me and Brother David Carrico did literally a program on the saucers of the vapor canopy. If nobody knows what the vapor canopy is, it's something back in the day where they talked about Saturn's rings and all kinds of different applications back in the days of old, which is really compelling to me when you think about the inkling of understanding that the ant people and the Manikuabu I've talked about, that the Indians would go underneath the ground and talk to this giant head, which you would think it was like Prometheus, the movies, and literally get knowledge, get information. It almost makes you think, did they build a quantum computer a long time ago? And there's another what if. Speaking of this petroglyph, what if they had robots back in the day? In Greek mythology, there's a lot of people out there who say, hey, did you know the Greeks had robots? Is there nothing new under the sun, folks? I say there's nothing new under the sun. I say this stuff's already happened in some shape or form before all these cataclysms and these great, resets pop off. And what if there is these ancient days? How you like this? Roman soldier here. But if you think about it, what if there was something, I'm not saying this era, this is just for fun, entertainment purposes on this slide here, but what if there's something back in the day that we're missing? What if there's not only some type of weird, portal-making machine, and these ancient Native Americans was seeing things that they was literally rendering with their memories, so they was documented so mankind would understand that there was things or was forces that man could not comprehend without the right technological advancements, and boom, here we are. We're supposedly in the singularity age, and we're going to be doing some type of different traveling concepts and everything. So are we at the ancient days? Is it going to be the event horizon? Are we going to the singularity? Are we upon? Is it upon us? Man, a little impressions today. It's time to get some coffee. But yeah, are we on the event horizon where mankind will go where no mankind before? I'm gonna choke. I'm choking. So anyways, welcome everybody to Visual Disturbance. I'll take a moment here. I haven't been live in literally the first month of February. I think it was the first week. And then we had a fail. The thing went boom, boom. It went off into existence. Nuclear-fied into oblivion. Nuclear-fied and fried into oblivion. So there's another thing. So we got some other things to talk about, folks. So just hang on to your seat. I'm really looking forward to this next one because this next topic here is pretty intriguing. Pretty intriguing. It's something to do. I have this. I guess it would just be a guesstimation or maybe just a theory, but I have this thing about nuclear plants. And there's a certain place. There's just a rendering here. It's just a rendering cartoon. Certain nuclear facility that started with an F, and it's, let's just say it, Fukushima. Okay? Well, there's a place. There's a really interesting village not too far from that disaster with these people that happened. It was insane, right? It was just interesting. Okay? And yes, Brian Norman, you're cracking me up right now with your comment. So just letting you know, I seen it. That's hilarious. Keep on keeping on, Brian. We're going to rock this. I don't know. That threw me off my game. That's pretty good. Welcome to Coffee Convo Radio. So there's a place that is a tall, well, not really a tale, but they call it the taxi driver's tales. And this is in a little, well, it's a village. And I think it's called Ishikomaki, I think. Ishinomaki. Ishino, I'm trying to look down and pronounce it. Ishinomaki. Whoa, not Nike, but Ishinomaki. Hey, how about that? It's the best I can do. It's the best I can do, folks. So, in Ishinomaki, a coastal city about 50 miles from Fukushima, heavily impacted by a tsunami, blah, blah, blah. The taxi drivers reported picking up ghostly passengers in the years following the disaster. One driver recounted to a researcher in 2016 that a young woman got into the cab and went to that one of the stations, asked to go to distract wipe. I can't even. That's not even. I wrote my notes are wrong. Welcome to the program. And when she asked about what this particular place was wiped out or whatever, and all of a sudden she vanished. She just vanished. And then another driver described a man who entered his taxi, pointed toward the devastated area, and disappeared mid-journey. Come on, what's that about? Is it Stranger Things, right? These accounts documented by an individual called Yuka Kodo, I think that's how you pronounce it, suggesting lingering spirits of unrecovered dead. Over 2,500 people remain missing from the disaster. What? Fukushima. A lot of strange things. So when I think about this, folks, and I think about these quantum computers, and I think about things in probably a different way, I'm not saying I'm special in any shape or form, but I'm an outside-the-box thinker, not even in, well, heck, I'm not even up on the cardboard just goes and blows away because I can't keep the duct tape, okay? I can't keep it attached. So basically, out of the box into a different realm, and I'll tell you my take on this. So there's a TV show, and it's a dark one. It's a dark one. I've referenced some of this before in the program here, but this TV show is called Dark, literally. The question is not where, but when. When are we? It's a Netflix show. So I'll tell you my take on nuclear facilities. Coffee Convo with 32 ounce here. I think it's 32 ounce. So this TV show series, Dark. I'm getting ready to interdimensionally disappear on my camera here. I got to work on that green screen, man. I got to work on it. I'm getting ready to quantum leap on the live stream, Coffee Convo Radio style. So the TV show Dark. So this series is like there's a duality. There's these twinning. There's these concepts of caves, tunnel systems. Let's just say computer. There's these ancient abilities, these ancient things that go bump in the night, so to speak, in this Dark TV series. Well, I'll just give you a little quick overview. So this individual finds out there's time travel, this whole time travel concept, but this whole city, this whole nuclear facility has literally ghosts in their closets, so to speak. And this nuclear facility has this type of material, let's just say that it's a little gooey and it's a little dark, right? And it can do stuff. It can be unstable. They put them in these they bury the waste. It's waste. It's the nuclear waste, so to speak, and they bury it. And they put concrete over it and say, you ain't coming out of that door. You ain't coming back from the portal of your, black portal. So these canisters have this nuclear material in it, blah, blah, blah. But there's these accounts that a lot of people are not speculating on, that these nuclear facilities have, UFO, alien, whatever. But there is people that are saying there's people showing up at these places. I've heard all kinds of different things when it comes to these applications where these nuclear facilities, these people just pop out of nowhere. Hey, Johnny! Where are you? And the person be pulled up and dressed up and decked out in like medieval clothing, John, a name back in the day. And they're claiming there's some type of time travel concept, which I can't get on it. I can't get on that. But I will tell you where I can go. When you look at these, the physicists claim, you look at these energy levels and you look at gamma radiation, different radiation levels, and wonder if you could do something that would give you, it almost look like you time travel, but it's, in a figuratively sense, it's not. Well, we've done programs here on the FOJC side of things that we talked about Edgar Casey talking about communication with, people, women, men underneath the hollow earth. When they pass away, they just miraculously go through a triangle, the Bermuda Triangle, and then manifest on the other side of this veil, so to speak. Well, it makes you wonder if there's something going on where people show up. But here's the point. So Edgar Casey would talk about the Akashic records, right? The Akashic records. Well, little did I know, when you put the two together, you talk about emerald tablets, and then you think about Thoth and the halls of Amity, and they go to a place where they study. They go to a place where they can see, and Thoth was teaching those teachings, supposedly. So what if these folks have been able to pull something off to this level, and these portals, let's just say these megalithic structures and all these places have an interconnection when we talk about ley lines, etc., and you talk about these earth energies, and what if it's just like on a level of humanity, it almost looks like somebody has time travel, but it's not the case at all. There's some kind of weird behind the veil fallen angel technology where they have some kind of a doorway where mankind, or let's just say the angels or whoever, that can become a Gilbarim, which I think Thoth become that. I really do. I think there's some type of weird, collaboration with that when you think about the story of Nimrod. But I think there's some kind of way that they turned into that where they could access these halls, so to speak. Very strange things indeed. I've heard humans have done it in some shape or form, the Akashic records. But here's the kicker. When I did a show with David not too long ago, they talk about Edgar Casey talks about the Akashic records, even referred to as the mothership. Well, we've been hearing a lot about that, haven't we? Welcome to Coffee Convo Radio. Houston, we have us a problem. We got Hobby Lobby balloons. Deploy the missiles. And then we got to follow them out to the Atlantic. We got to follow them buggers, speaking of the New Jersey event, them good old drones, man. They just turned up on that mothership. And that's what they claim. They said, it's the mothership. It's been deployed. The drones have been deployed. Could you imagine on air, on national television, it's the mothership? And there's some kind of dark meaning to it. It's almost like, I hate to say it, but it's almost like somebody literally just, they take over, right? Like the people just be like this, and all of a sudden they'll either pass out the mic or they'll stare and stand and be frozen. Folks, we're not even in the Wizard of Oz world anymore. At least they moved around. These people freezing up like the Tin Man, right? It's just bizarre. I mean, I don't even know what's going on, man. But could you imagine? Deploy the mothership. All these experimental interdimensional orbs, the Dyson spheres, have been deployed. It's a special. Seriously, folks, could you imagine? We have a secret space program, but we got billions of dollars. Don't you all worry. Parts will not fly over. And then all of a sudden, I got to watch what I say. We have, and no joke, we have planes falling out of the sky. And nobody wants to be, let's just say, there's always somebody blaming somebody else. Call, when you make a call, right, you can't even get nobody in real life. It's like let's just say 90+% of the time you can call somebody. Could you imagine trying to call the airport, or somebody in the aviation, trying to get a hold of somebody? It's time for coffee. And all this tragic, I mean, on a serious note, before I get too goofy, on a serious note, people are losing their lives, and there's chaos in the, let's just say, in the skies. So what is it? What's going on? Like, literally, what's going on with that? And it's just bizarre to me. It's bizarre. It's really sad. It's sick and demented. It's just sick and demented. Okay. So you have the Dark TV series. There's a lot going on there. Okay. I don't know. I don't believe in time travel, but I believe there is a way that these people or these entities have all learned how to master a place where you can go hide out and get information, come back, shine like a diamond, become a 6 foot tall human shapeshifter, whatever, and be able to conquer the lands because they've learned the tactics, because they said they've been hanging out at the local Akashic cafe. You know what I mean? Hey, is that you? Is that you, Thoth? You know, I mean, I'm joking here, folks, but it's getting insane. So, but yeah, so the Dark series is insane. A lot of doppelgangers, all this insanity that goes along with it. It's really, really strange to me. And it's super dark. No wonder they call it that. Is legitimately dark. A lot of weird stuff. So what if nuclear facilities have some type of, let's just say they're strategically laid somewhere, there's something interacting with the elements of the earth, and wonder if there is some type of diabolical thing when mankind, or whatever gets around it, it interacts with it some way. And that's what I would say when you think about this. That's when you go back to the quantum field, because they said, and I quote, they said that this particle was unstable. Like, it could not be, they caught it back in the 30s, which was weird. 1930, really? And they couldn't contain it, right? It was just showing up everywhere. What's that make you think of? I got to watch what I say here. But it starts, well, the first word is dark, and then you can do the rest of it and probably end up with it starts with the M, the rest of it. So there has to be some kind of correlation. What do you want to bet with all this going on? Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just too, I don't know. Maybe I'm just out there somewhere on a coffee convo, drinking a cup of coffee and hanging out with you guys here in the Visual Disturbance community, right? I say that now because I have so many people that are on social media and everything that don't even know I have a YouTube channel. So it's just one big community, and people are here, and we're just talking about huge, well, most bizarre stuff I've ever seen in my life when it comes to our reality. So Speaking of, let's get the coffee on here. Let's get the coffee on the screen. Let's get the coffee on the screen. Johnny Kirk, how you doing? Brian Norman, I've already gave you a shout out, but you get two on this one. Swamp Light, it's always a pleasure, my friend. Swamp Light's been here for a long time. Heck, Swamp Light's been around before I even made a channel, and I was doing stuff on other platforms, and Swamp Light was right there, always backing me. Big shout out to Swamp Light. I hope you're blessed. So, speaking of AI and fun facts here. So, the other day, had an internet issue. So, you know, connecting all the technicalities and all these different cables, etc. You know, you can't really call anybody anymore. They'd be like, you know, you'll get a female AI, right? And sometimes you get a male AI. I've seen all kinds, and it's just strange, and it's pretty apparent. You know, the other day I call because I'm like trying to activate something, right? And they can never understand me at all. AI must be like this. Man, is that a hillbilly? hillbilly. Yeah, I'm serious. When it scans me, hillbilly. So when I'm speaking to the AI, and I could be really I can be like, hello. I can change my whole impression. It doesn't work. They've got me. It does. It's hillbilly. So the other day, this woman AI comes on. How can I help you? You know, what would you like to do? What's your account number? Blah, blah, blah. And then every time I say it, I cannot understand you. Please try again. Hit the pound button. Reset the menu. You know, all this stuff, right? And then I just got tired of it. This is my secret. I'm giving everybody a secret. So if you live wherever you live, Australia, and you have a really awesome accent, I think anybody from Australia, heck, I think anybody from Austria, anybody from any other nation besides me, as far as being country and hillbilly, I mean, apparently that's what it is. I love hearing different accents. I just love it. I always love it. I'm always intrigued by how they say certain words in English. It's just a blessing. You know, I'm not making fun of anybody. I think all nationalities, they have such a unique, when you see something that's a rarity, right? When people come to our neck of the woods, they're not even from the States here in America, right? It's very apparent. And then it's like if I go somewhere out of Kentucky, right? It's like, man, I just went through when I go out of the state line of Kentucky and I go somewhere besides Tennessee and Alabama, people think I'm from like another world, man. They're like, this dude. I can't understand him, man. I can't understand him. And, you know, people from up north, you know, like in Dan's area, God bless you guys, you know, in Rhode Island, you know, there's like, park the car. And I'll be like, man, you gonna park your car, man? You gonna park your car? Man, you gonna get that car in the parking lot? It's just so cool. So there's just a big shout out to everybody here that there's a lot of different countries. I would never make fun of your accent. People make fun of me every day. I've got so used to it, but man, I would never make fun of anybody. I love meeting new people. It's just always a blessing to see different walks of life. It just is, and the way they perceive things, it's just great. I just love I really do love having a conversation. I love it. But yeah, big old hillbilly from Kentucky. So anyways, just to get back on the conversation here. So here I am talking to this AI, and I gave up. I'm like, yes. Okay, we will proceed. And I was like, yes. And this is the trick, okay? So you just replicate what I just said. And I said, I want to activate my modem. And it worked perfect, okay? So it worked perfect the whole entire time. And it was like silky smooth, got my stuff done, boom. You can't speak to the AI like anything like I'm speaking. You can't be me. You can't be country and speak like this, because they ain't going to have your Kentucky slang. You got to sound like a robot. You got to compete with them. You got to get them to work. So you got to be like, nah, 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 nah. That's how you got to, that tone will work every time. It doesn't matter where you come from in the walk of life. Just use that and boom, you're in. So welcome to Coffee Convo Radio. So yeah, watch out for them. Watch out for them. Watch out for them folks. Watch out for them. The avatars. The avatars. So anyways, let's move on. So speaking of, I've seen something so interesting the other day too. Speaking of quantum computers, and I want your all's take. Does anybody know about what they're talking about when it comes to these quantum computers, and you have the AI technology and these Project Stargate, unleash the gates. Well, when you see this, and I use this depiction here, this illustration for merging, okay? When you think about these components and you think about who you truly are, and you think about, you relate on a spiritual sense, like you finally figure it out when you're in this world, and you finally figure out what your true meaning or whatever it is. Like I'm talking about when it comes to occupation or whatever your gift is. But when you think about spiritual applications, you think about Christ, right? You think about Jesus. You think about, the Godhead, right? Well, it's interesting, these and then a lot of people that come to Visual Disturbance, I know that you probably don't agree with me on certain things, but welcome. I appreciate you being here. When it comes to biblical referencing and biblical narrative, I appreciate you guys being here regardless. So thanks for being here for sure. I appreciate everybody here, and hopefully one day we can have a conversation, and hopefully we come together and, in the figurative sense on here, and agreement when you talk about biblical stuff. But yeah, that's for another show. Well, we mentioned it a couple times. Well, speaking of Nephilim and different things and those applications and merging with AI, I heard the other day, just give it about another 3 to 5 years, and with AI and the quantum computing, that mankind can live another 20 to 30 years because of these advancements, the T-800, Terminator time, Skynet. You think about these things, right? This emergence. So what you look at that, and you look at the reality, you look at the principle behind the matter, you say, okay, so there is a thing to this. There's a quantum field, there's these electromagnetic fields, but when you go back to a spiritual side, the ancients, Native Americans, cultures, back in the day, Samaritans, everybody, Egypt, they're all looking at something that comes forth, and they're showing and giving communication. Manifestation, right? And when you think about these things, and I said it earlier in this broadcast about you can't tell what's going on. You won't be able to tell if there's angelic abilities going on, or is this all holographic? So you think about the emergence. So then they're saying 2030 we possibly will go through the threshold of the singularity / and then possibly they're talking immortality. And folks, I will just tell you here on the Visual Disturbance channel, and I'm smelling some beast rising. I'm smelling some beast, and it's not good, okay? It's not good. I mean, we got to keep our heads right? I'm not putting down the AI. I'm putting down on maybe some of the things that have got the Pinocchio strings, I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't say humans have full control right now when it comes to the AI narrative. I think there's a little component of the human side, but I think we got us some old, like when we was talking about Fukushima, I think we got some old players in the game, and we playing the same old jing-a-lang, right? I don't even know what I just said. It just sounded it kind of sounded clever. Maybe not. It probably sounded, a lot of people sometimes said, is this guy ignorant? Is this guy blind? Is this guy why has he got 3D glasses on? He must be an idiot, right? Well, I promise you, I'm not an idiot. Well, sometimes I might sound like that, but that doesn't matter. No, I'm just kidding. It does matter. It does matter. I'm accountable for everything I do. Sometimes I joke around, just cut up. It does matter. And that, speaking of doesn't matter, I will say I've been heartbroken a lot here lately. I've seen a lot of people that it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. When you stand for something or you'll fall for anything, that doesn't matter attitude. That's why I hinted. That's why I slipped up. Well, I didn't slip up. It's clever. When you're saying something about, like, well, it doesn't matter what I do. Well, that's not good. Okay, that's dark. So when you think that you're superior than everybody else, well, guess what? There's applications and words I could say that's probably not good for this program, which I would not say. But the point is, when you think of yourself as a little G, then you got to go away from me. And I would not be one of those people. I cannot stand it. Sometimes I have been caught up in my own fleshly mindset, and I've done some ridiculousness and just think stupid things, etc. But it does matter, and it should be, when you're accountable, accountability goes a long way with me. It really does. It truly does. And I have to walk a walk. Like, I have to walk. If I've seen some of you all in real life, it's going to be the same old goofy Brian, the same old serious Brian. And there's a time for both, okay? But I have seen some very concerning stuff on social media here lately. Like, man, just vulgar, just, guys, it's almost, it's foolish. Like, oh man, it really does. I'm just like, wow. So the tongue and speaking certain things, it's not people are like, oh, it's just a thing. It's just, I've even heard people say, well, I've heard grown men say this. It's adorable. What? No, it's not. When you say stuff and bring up stuff and derogatory and perversion, it's disgusting and vile. And so no wonder when there's no like correction or repentance or understanding that there's you know what I'm saying? Does anybody know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to do something and be behind a camera, be behind a mic and put a show on for people, but not act like that in real life. Like, you put a show on, you do the reversal, but then you have like little elements of it when it comes to social media, and you'll put it out there for likes and views, and people will be like, I love this person. I think it's disgusting. And there's no place for it. It's just ridiculous. It's vile. It's no different than the e-files. It's no different. It's small little increments of it, and it makes you look foolish, and it's just sad. I don't even want to go on a big rant about it, but this is why when the AI emergence, no, seriously, we can't even depend on our consciousness of our own self because we are so embedded with filth. Like, have you ever noticed? Like, it's so easy to go in that evil mindset. Like, it's so hard to, keep the reins back, to get away from it. It's on every doorstep. It's on everything, right? And it gets on my nerves when people proclaim to be a certain title and they don't apply that. It's very, very hurtful, very insane. If you're going to choose something, be that. Like, truly stand for it. Don't act like anybody else that you're seeing, and all this e-files coming out and all this nonsense coming out in the reality of this world, and people, all this sickness all this sick crap that's went on in class, underneath tunnels and closed doors here that they're bringing to light. It's defilement. It's disgusting. It's the same. But so how are we supposed to justify little tiny inklings of stuff and say, well, it's harmless? Well, no, it is. It's very harmful. It really is. Okay. So there's my little preaching for today. So no wonder when you think about a logical, critical thinker, and you think about what they're doing, AI components and everything, and people the dependency is going to be so strong in that pool of a spiritual application. It's going to be so strong, and people are going to fall hook, line, and sinker and forget how to use their mind to freely think and articulate in solving problems like a godly gift. Like, you're not going to. You're going to be the dependency. You're not going to learn. It's really scary where we're at. So these applications are living to be 100-something years old. I'm not kidding you. I heard the other day there's going to be a 200 years. If anybody below 40 years old, this was 2 years ago. If anybody below 40 years of age would see the whole thing, and it would be transhumanism on extra steroids by whenever we're supposedly older. I've heard these applications. I've heard people saying, well, yeah, there's different ways. It just depends on the AI, what it wants to do, and the quantum computing, if it wants to do this, and then we can make everything better again, and then you can live to be 175 and look like you're 35. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you, folks. It's insanity. It's insanity. I don't even know. I don't even know where we live. I mean, seriously, who would want to live 1,000 years? I mean, seriously, as bad as this world is, and much as the drama that's been going on in this lands or all over this country, you can go up and down through all up the Ohio Valley. Native American blood spilled everywhere and everything else. Yeah, I mean, just everything. And I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm just making a statement that there's been a lot of, let's just say, blood, B-L-O-O-D, on a lot of people's hands, and there's no accountability. No accountability. And that really, and I'll tell you, that's a topic that really gets me, like with the Native American, God bless them people out there that are having to endure that nonsense. Okay? I asked a person the other day, well, it was about a month ago. To me, it was the other day. Time's flying. So here's what I asked. This man's from Kentucky, and I asked him. I said, "Do you ever see any Native American, truly? I'm talking about pure-blooded Native Americans in our neck of the woods, in our parts, in the Bluegrass State." No. And I was like, "Well, you won't, because that kind of stopped around the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was an exodus. So what is that, right?" Well, I believe there's let's just say, when you look at ancestral DNA, epigenetics, I would say that's what this is going to be all come down to. The shamans of old, this psionic ability that they're claiming is some kind of Merlin-like capability, or Jedi Knight, where you can summon the UFOs and they just come out of nowhere and just pop and say, Mary Poppins land, hey, hillbilly, that kind of thing, right? And to me, it's fallen angel technology all written all over it. It's disgusting and vile and just insanity. And they would want to keep us tripped up. You would think, I don't care, 6,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, you name it. You pick a time, pick a year, pick a millennium, right? Fallen angels, they would always have more of an understanding. These angelic abilities would have more understanding than the average man. People are, my goodness. Get off your high horse and think that people really do. I don't know everything. I don't know anything. Heck, like I said, it's the Coffee Convo radio show, hillbilly style. No, it's not hillbilly style, but it is. The takeover are you ready for the takeover? I don't know everything, but these people that get on this whole social status of like, hey, I'm superior, I know everything, I can dominate, I can command and conquer anything that I walk into. I'm just the best thing that's ever walked this green earth, right? And that's a bad mentality every day long. It doesn't matter. I've met people like that. It is bad. And it's not a good place to be. It really isn't. It's not a good place to be. Unbelievable. Let me get a cup of coffee. Let me get a sip of coffee. I just seen the chat. I'm gonna make a laugh here. Dr. Jekyll said 1,000 years. What's it, decrepit? I'm decrepit at 48. A shout out to Dr. Jekyll. I'm sorry. So anyways, we got 113 people in the chat. My goodness, thank you all for being here in the Visual Disturbance community. I didn't even know I was going to go this long. Here we are, an hour and 3 minutes in. But got sidetracked. Got sidetracked there. Well, I was talking about the Native Americans. I was talking about how people act, and just it's not time to be indulging in just stupidity stuff. It's time to start, armoring up and like collecting the time, like, making time a priority to do things, right? And sharpen your skills, your tools, your gifts, or whatever. And you would have, I can promise you it's a blessing. Regardless of what state you're in, I don't care if you're bedridden or whatever the scenario is, had some horrible infirmity. I have one. I have an infirmity. I have all kinds of issues. And a lot of people don't know about that, but I'm going to keep that closed box today because a lot of people don't even understand why I wear the glasses, the visual disturbance. I don't even understand it. And people judge me to this day for it, just bash me on here, and it's okay. It's okay. Hillbilly. I think there's a song about that. I don't even know, some rap country song, hillbilly. But anyways, it's 7:36. somewhere out there in Eastern time here. But where was I? Where was I, folks? Well, anyways, let's just go back to the coffee cup. Let's get us a cup of coffee. I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. And I'm going to give a shout out to some of these people here up in the chat again, if I can see it. If it's not here, if it's not there, I can't see it. Well, there it is. Yes, God is great. God is great. That's right. That's right. Never forget it. It don't matter. It don't matter what reality, whatever type of thing coming against us. If there's something, I don't care if it's the daggone Jolly Green Giant running down the street with a can of green beans in his pocket. It don't matter. It don't matter. Because you got the armor, right? Maybe get a couple sips of tea, or excuse me, sips of tea or sips of coffee. Maybe get a couple sips of coffee before the Jolly Green Giant comes and fee fi fo fum. I'm gonna rip your house off, son. I'm gonna rip your roof off. That's the biggest cup of coffee I think I've ever made. My wife, she'll fill it to right here. She said that's all you need. That's all you need. Tommy Cobbler, well, bless you. Love your show. You do a great job. Yeah, I appreciate that so much. I really do. I really am trying. I'm just trying. Look, the world just gets so bizarre. There's people all the time saying, we're going to get invaded, and then there's people saying, the birds are distribution. I don't know. We got the bird, you know what? It starts with F, and you have all these other things, and we got, it's most mind-boggling thing. I'm laughing now, but it's in a serious thing. It's not good. It's not good, folks. It's just, we're subjected to things that don't make sense. And that's not what we're not here for this. We're not here for listening and worried about, they deploy the fires. Yes, it's good to hear. I want to see justice be fulfilled. I want to see justice in that matter. But there's so many things you could go down the road and look at archaeology and look at things and things that go literally the Mothman, the Dog Man, the Jello Man, Swamp Thing, whatever it is, Swamp Thing. All these different. There just goes on and on and on, right? Crypto creatures on steroids. I hope my mic is sounding good because this is sorry, but everybody, welcome to Coffee Convo. If you just now join us, we're about an hour in. Here I am goofing off and being silly, but hey, this type of program here, even though I do a what ifs, and I haven't done a news is not for everybody here lately. News is not for everybody. There's a lot of different programs and series that I have started up here on Visual Disturbance, and I don't know what to do with myself sometimes. There's a lot. I can just pick, hey, you want to do a coffee convo? But it's literally been a year and a half, I think. I really do think that. It's been a long time since I've done it. And I think it was to do with video games. Coffee convo video game style. I think that's what it's called. But anyways, sounds like you've been eating chocolate-covered espresso beans. No. I'll tell you a story. Thank you for mentioning this. So, okay, when I used to be a milkman, right? Milkman, literally occupation, take the milk bottles, your half and half, your quarts, your 14 ounces, whatever you want to call them, chugs, whatever you want to call them, half pints, etc. Right? One time, well, several times actually, I would be so exhausted, and I'd worked like 16-hour days anyways. So exhausted, 6 days a week, so exhausted. Excuse me. And so I was like, I can't fix the coffee because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night, and everybody's asleep. I can't fix the coffee because the coffee maker make too much noise. So I was like, okay, whatever. And this is like 2015, 10 years ago. I would literally take the coffee grounds. It's going to be an moment here on Visual Disturbance. And I would just take milk and then take the cereal, which I don't drink certain cereals no more because that's all I'm going to say. And I take milk and I take coffee grains and just throw them on top. It'd be like, yeah, that's a healthy diet of sugar, let's just say cocoa, probably Convo radio show coffee on it's a twist with milk and cereal involved. Yes, it's disgusting, and I did that. I used to take toffee grains, just throw it everywhere, mix it in with the cereal, drink the milk, everything, get you a little caffeine kick without the coffee. Yes. How disgusting and how insane. That's what happens when they push you too many times to the level of workload. Yeah, overload. So, there's a little story. I haven't done a milkman story in a long time. Yeah, there you go. There's a little few minutes of me rambling. But anyways, I just want to have a good time on here today. I want to thank you all for being here. A lot of people dropped off there for a minute. Tommy Collar's like, what's he doing? But he's live. But yeah, see, here's the thing. I do these shows too. Before I let you guys go, I do these because I really truly want to just make people laugh. Like, and on a serious note, be serious at the same time and really bring certain things to the table that maybe people haven't thought about. And on a serious note, I hope it's a blessing to you. I really truly do. I really do. And it's just crazy where we're at. It's crazy where we're at. And I like to just laugh and be joyful and really be serious too, and then bring biblical stance or archaeology stance or megalithic structure, whatever you have it, right? Or coffee stance, right? Organic is the way to go. Just saying, don't drink too much. Till you put milk in your coffee. There was a friend of mine. Oh, friend. A lot of you all probably know he used to do a lot of work. Really cool dude. He would literally put baking soda in his coffee. And this thing called Keto Brains, I kid you not, me and Dan and John, Keto Brains is some type of $60 bag of insanity, lion's mane, all kinds of different things. And let's just say I wasn't chewing on no espresso beans. That stuff was straight up. You walk through the walls. It vibrate. You remember at the beginning of the show, I was talking about the 3-letter agency. You would vibrate out of existence because that stuff would make you literally feel like you was going to walk through the wall and do a backflip and fall into a sinkhole and then recover from all that. That's where that stuff will get you. So yeah, baking soda, Keto Brains make you go insane. Especially when you got a big cup like this. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you all want me to continue this Coffee Convo radio conversation. I'm gonna take a few names here and just say, relate to the chat here a little bit here in a second. But let me know. Hit the like button. Hit, in the description box, in the comments below after you're watching this, after the live stream. Please let me know if you want me to bring back the Coffee Convo radio show permanently or half the time or whatever it is. Or, just throw the whole coffee bag and sit there and chew on some espresso beans, live stream in the backyard with a Starlink, I don't know, and watch Bigfoot come out and chew on the espresso beans. I don't know. So, espresso! But anyways, yeah, I know. That was probably a little disgusting. But anyways, I hope, please continue. Bless you all. Seriously, permanently. Okay, permanently. But y'all remember that, right? There's probably a hillbilly action. Here comes the drones. Deploy. We have us a hillbilly. Hillbilly. Pause. Do I get my shotgun? We got us a hillbilly encounter. Disclosure, Daddy. It's hilarious, folks. We got Sasquatch. Is that you, Esau? Is that you? Forgive me. I gotta watch what I say here. Oh, I gotta keep my mouth shut there. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, you gotta watch out for them Sasquatch and crypto creatures and laser beams. But my coffee cup here, it's a blue laser shield. You know what I'm saying? We'll call them instead of a caffeinated machine or a caffeinated cup reservoir, we can call it a blue laser detour. Detour the lasers. So, anyways, I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm getting kind of goofy now at the end, but I hope y'all enjoy these coffee convos. Some of you guys are probably new to it and you haven't ever even seen them before because they've been so long ago. I even make coffee convo mugs. I think the link's in the description. You can check out all my mugs and t-shirts for the Nephilim, t-shirts, etc. There's a lot of Visual Disturbance merch on there if you want to check them out. Check out the links in the description too. So Greg, if you're hearing me, Greg, I got your note. I received your note. Donna got a hold of me. If you're hearing this message, Greg, I'm going to use first name basis. Greg, look, I don't hold anything against anybody, right? I don't even look when you mentioned that letter and brought that to me. All is forgiven, my friend. Look, keep on keeping on, man. Visual disturbance, I am not offended, and bless you for writing, and thank you so much for that note. Everything is good in the hood, man. This Kentucky boy has got nothing against you. I'm just thankful that you reached out to me. That was an honor. I appreciate it, Greg. So there's the first name basis, Mr. Greg. Hope that message gets to you. If it doesn't, I hope somebody out there will pass it along, and maybe Greg will see this in the near future. But bless you, Greg, and be of good cheer. Visual disturbance is not upset. Not at all. Not in no shape or form. So, but anyways, the Nephilim, the whole thing, Carrico is going to see this replay and go, what? I got to tell you a story about David. David says stuff sometimes, and I just whenever he'll be like, him and Donna just keep me straight. They keep me on the, if I do something, and whatever, it's just I'll ask them, because I really respect them too so much. I respect them so much, and their opinion matters to me. I really do. I respect them so much. So even if I have an inkling in my heart that I'm, the guy of line a little bit, might have said something, might have said hillbilly too much, right? It might have said hillbilly. She might get me after me with that, but hey, I love it. I love I love it when she does that. I respect it. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it so much. But yeah, let me read that real quick. Snail's World. Let me hang on. But yeah, shout out to David and Donna Carrico. Bless them both. They crack me up sometimes because they just cut it. They just cut it to me like it's real. They don't never sugarcoat anything, and I respect that so much. They're just good friends. I love them very much. So subscribe to FOJC if you haven't ever got an opportunity to do that. Go check it out. Me and David, I get the honor to be a co-host on that. What a blessing. So yeah, check that out. If you ever get an opportunity, go check out FOJC Underground Church. We are on there every Sunday night live. I mean, we got a lot of content going on over there. A lot. So let me see what we got going on here. We got a message here. Snail's World. I saw SUV size UAPs around Christmas. I made a noise I couldn't hear until I played back at the security system. I messed up the system an hour after. Okay, let me see. I messed up our system an hour afterwards. So did you hear the news on this? There's a lot of people saying that the drones, the orbs, the fighter jets, they'll have these drones have some type of built-in, these biometric, Stargate UFOs have this built-in mechanism where they're like, there's the indigenous people, there's the people, there's the useless eaters down there. Let's deploy a sound that they'll be familiar with, and then we'll just fly right over top of them, and they'll be never the wiser. Well, I've heard this. I saw so the individual says, I saw SUV size UFPs around Christmas and made a noise, and I couldn't hear until I played back on security system. I messed up our system, so yeah. So it made a noise and I couldn't hear. So yeah, I've heard that they would disrupt your hearing, and I've heard that it'll sound just like a buoy plane, just a big old fighter jet, okay? But they'll just masquerade and make different sounds, etc., and it's insanity to me. It's insanity. So yeah, so I hope if that technology's out there, according to Stephen Greer, he says it is. So there you go. Speaking of, let me know in the chat before I get off here that and thanks for that $10 donation. Thank you all for the donations. I really do appreciate that. It's an honor. It's a privilege. And bless you all for being here. Your time. Do me a favor, share this thing out and subscribe, and just share it out. Hit the like button. I really appreciate it. It gets it out. It gets it out. Thank you for your time. Your time means everything. Seriously, your time means a lot. Okay, your time means a lot. And thank you again. Bless you for that donation. And that little card at the bottom's all messed up, but hey, there's a glitch in the system. There's a glitch in the matrix. But speaking of, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to see one night. I'm gonna see if you guys feel the same way. I'm gonna see if I can get David Carrico on a coffee convo radio, because David is a coffee drinking machine. And I would love to do a coffee convo with Brother David Carrico, and we could do a coffee convo just like here, but he would be literally on the Visual Disturbance channel. You know what's so weird? You want to know what's so strange? I think I've only had him one time on the Visual Disturbance channel. And it's because we had a mess up on a live stream, and then we rolled over to the Visual Disturbance because there was something wrong with the FOGC side. So just letting you know, I might have to give David a call. and say, hey, you want to be on a coffee convo, David? We can sit here and drink coffee together and talk about giants, UFOs, whatever. That would be interesting. So let me know in the description or the comment box below. Let me know what you think about the coffee convo. Thank you all for all the love and support. You have no idea how blessed I am with you guys here. Just for being here is an honor. So thank you for your time here on this lovely Thursday evening. Don't forget, on FOJC tonight, 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, there's going to be called the Astro Realms, all that good stuff with Brother Dan. Go check it out on FOJC tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to share that out. But yeah, I just want to get back and say, everybody on here, your time means something to me. It's always an honor. It means a lot. Some people, like I say, some of these screen names, I know them I literally got to see them in the flesh. It's so cool. And hopefully, I will tell you this, hopefully me and John and Pounder has been talking about in the future, maybe we have possibly in the near future, hopefully, that we could do meet and greets randomly, like meet and greets places. So I would love to meet more people because a lot of people with the screen names, it's cool to see a face, right? It's cool to engage in a conversation and not be like, hello, I am a robot, that kind of thing. So I really would appreciate that. And if we can, I appreciate that if we had a meet and greet, we all gathered together and maybe a bunch of people can hang out, the visual disturbance community, whoever, ACT, FLGC, all that, right? It'd be really cool. So, no, I'm not. I'm not out of coffee. What's so bad? What's so bad? It's about. I think it's like this far down. I don't know. My wind is not giving out. I've just made other promises for tonight. Right? I made a promise, but I will stay on here for a little bit longer. And I just appreciate you all being here. I really do. It's an honor and a privilege. A lot of familiar names. Like I said, I can match with the face, and it's nothing but a blessing. Marsha Home, thank you for being here. Bless you. Okay. I'm just looking at the chat here. Johnny Kirk, you heard me a while ago. I hope you did. I hope you're doing well. Oh, Marsha, yes. Oh, Marsha. I just went back and read it. Okay, so I was going to message you. I'm pretty sure that I know what you're referring to, and I'm 1,000% sure I got it. Let me go back and verify, but I'm pretty sure I got it, and I'm so sorry for the late reply to that. I had you written down to contact you, so bless you so much. I did receive it if you're hearing me. Thank you. And thank you, whoever donated, bless you on the coffee site. It's an honor. Thank you. But yeah. Thanks for the smiles, Stone Mason. Bless you. Thanks for the smiles. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I really am just trying to be uplifting, upbeat, because the world is insane right now. Right? It just seems strange. Everything seems off. There's like this, you'll hear this, the great shifting is upon us. The great shift. It's happening. It's happening. And everybody's in fear. The eggs. Ah! It's crazy. Let me tell you a story about the eggs. No joke. From northern Kentucky all the way down to the south side of Kentucky, you would be surprised if you do a lot of digging. You can navigate your way to the eggs. Not the UFO eggs, but the eggs you eat for breakfast. You can find them, but let's just say they're not all there. The shelves are bare. The shelves are bare. So anyways, I want to just say thank you for everybody here. Got 90 people still left in the chat. What an honor, what a blessing it is. We got up to 100 and something today. Well, it was an honor. But welcome to the live stream here. Welcome to literally Coffee Convo Radio. The takeover begins. Are you ready? Yep. And I'm going to tell you something real quick before I let you guys go. Sunday, I'll give you a hint. We're going to do another decoding. This Sunday night on FOJC, we're going to do a Sunday night live, and we're going to be doing a decoding. So here's a punchline of decoding, because the mystery theater that me and Brother David do. So there's an old movie that came out when the individual says, I think he says something like, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, or good night. We're going to be doing a decoding on that for sure. Mr. Truman, we're going to be bringing up and doing a decoding that. So there's a little insight of what we got going on at FOGC side. FOJC. And check that out this Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be back for a little Truman Show Decoded. If you like the Back to the Future Decoded and the other programs we've done, Indiana Jones, The Terminator. The Terminator was rough for me. The Terminator was rough. Okay, it had a lot of, it's a let's just say it's a long story. The Terminator was getting ready to terminate live stream because this old boy was like, I was getting ready to go old fashioned milkman on somebody, like literally like getting ready to break a cap, like and bust a stack of milk. That's how bad that Terminator broadcast was. But yeah, speaking of, I'm going to do another coffee combo. We're going to talk about some things. I think what I'm going to do in my next coffee combo, I'm going to give you some insight. We're going to do some, I'm going to try to go back and look at a bunch of slides that I did and reference them on different shows and platforms, etc. And we'll do a coffee combo with it. I think that'd be kind of intriguing and interesting, and I hope you all can be engagement with it. But anyways, I'm going to get off here. Coffee Combo Radio. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said earlier, let me know if you think it's good to bring back, if it's good to bring it permanently, if it's good just to scrub it from existence. Say anything, really. I get to see a lot of just beautiful comments, and then some comments are just like hell bent, hate to use that term, to obliterate me into oblivion. And I don't understand it. Maybe they just don't have enough coffee. Maybe they need the quantum chip so they can become a better. Maybe the quantum chip's going to improve it. Yeah, okay. That's a little. I'm not even going to go there. I'm joking. Totally joking. One sip of coffee gets you a blue coffee cup. It's not all. I don't sell coffee cups with blue that are blue. Well, I do actually, but not this big. Not this big. So check that out if you get an opportunity. Big shout out to Shake and Wake Radio. If you haven't seen Miss Ann, go check it out. Esther Jades, all the stuff they do over there with their company. Check all that stuff out. It'll be a blessing to them. And but other than that, Visual Disturbance Coffee Convo went an hour and a half, folks. Hour and a half. So yeah, a good old hillbilly. AI got AI taking over. What's going on, folks? The question before I leave you. Are we living in the twilight zone? Is our paradox? Is the human residents, how they always, the Schumann residents, they're always talking about, look out, it's going to happen. Look out. We're going to go through the shift. We got the planetary alignment. The portal's open. Everybody's going to be smart. Everybody's going to be super giant. Everybody's going to turn into Esau. I'm joking. I shouldn't have said that. He's in the woods. The Sasquatch-itis. But anyways. Fun under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. But until next time, I think I'm glitching out. My coffee cup looks like it's glitching out. It's not picking it ain't picking it up on the blue tint. You feel me? Blue tint. See blue tint on my lenses. Mm-hmm. But anyways, we'll see you on the next one, folks. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's doing well. See you on the next one. Stay away from all the crypto creatures and insanity upon the land. Which it seems like there's a ticking time bomb when it comes to this UFO phenomenon and all these different things that are coming to our realm. Keep your mind on the Lord Jesus Christ. I'll say that because a lot of people frown upon it, but I'm not too ashamed to say it. So until next time, Visual Disturbance, I'm out of here. Stay on the narrow path, folks, because it's going to get a little rocky. But take your coffee beans, chew on them a while. Welcome back to a Coffee Convo Radio style. So see you on the next one, folks. Visual Disturbance, I'm out of here. Subscribe, share, hit this like button, all that good stuff. Thank y'all for being here. Hit the links in the description. I got a lot of social media platforms. I'd like to hear from you. I got a big Facebook platform there. X, if you haven't seen me on Twitter X, I always say Twitter X because a lot of people resonate with it. Go check out the X platform. I've been trying to build that up for like 2 years. Check it out if you get an opportunity. And all the other social media links there in the description. It's your pleasure to go to and check them out. Appreciate it. But until next time, Visual Disturbance out of here. I'll see you on the next one, folks. Have a great day. Have a good weekend coming up, too. Be of good cheer. Visual Disturbance, I'm out.